So everyone's asking the same question right now. Will AI take my job? And honestly, this is not the right question to ask because the answer for almost everyone is the same. It's not going to take your whole job today and it's not going to happen overnight. The right question is sharper. How much of your job is routine? Because that is the part AI takes and that is what decides whether you climb or get left behind. And Malaysia has a specific problem here that most people are not talking about. Give me 10 minutes and I'll show you exactly which jobs will go first, which ones are going to be safe, and the one move that pulls you on the right side of it, whatever you do for it. Let me be precise here so we don't panic because the panicking version is useless. AI is not coming for every job equally. It comes hardest and first for one specific kind of work: routine, repetitive, predictable work. The kind where it has inputs in and standard output. If your day is mostly the same predictable task, then you are in the blast radius. You are kind of in trouble. If it is messy, human, and different every other day, you are safer. So look at the roles already being here: data entry, basic customer service and call centers, administrative and clerical work, bookkeeping, basic content production. McKinsey estimates that around 30% of the tasks in areas like admin and customer service could be automated by the end of the decade. Some analysis put the automation risk for routine customer service and data entry as high as 80 to 90% within just a few years. Now, it's also important to be fair because the World Economic Forum thinks that AI will displace around 92 million jobs globally by 2030, but it will create 170 million new jobs. So on paper, it is technically a net gain. The catch is in the fine print. Most of those new jobs are in roles that did not exist a few years ago. The old jobs disappear from one group of people and the new jobs appear for a different group. Whether you are in the group that loses or the group that gains is the entire question. And here is exactly where Malaysia has a problem that most countries do not have. For the last 2 decades, a big part of our economic strategy was to become the region's back office. We built hubs in places like Cyberjaya and KL to do shared services for the world's biggest companies. Customer support, right? Back office, finance and accounting, data processing. We sold ourselves as the place that does these work well and cheaply. Now look back at the list of jobs that AI eats first. Customer service, back office finance, data processing. It's pretty much almost exactly the same as the list. We built a meaningful slice of our economy on precisely the kind of routine work, to be precise, that AI is now automating the fastest. And that is not a coincidence, that is exposure. And here is the cruel irony that ties this back to something I've talked about before. Those data centers going up in Johor, the ones that use our land and our water, they are the engines running this AI. So we are technically hosting the technology that automates the very jobs we built our economy on. We are exposed from both directions at once. We provide the ground for the machine and the machine comes for our work. I'm not saying this to scare you or to make this sound like this is all a bad thing. I'm saying this because if you are sitting in one of these roles right now thinking you are safe because the big company is big and it's foreign and it's stable, you, my friend, are reading these exact situations completely backwards. Big, foreign, and cost-focused is precisely who automates first. Picture someone working a back office job in one of these centers. Decent salary, air-conditioned office, a big recognizable logo on their payslip. From the outside, you may think, or they may think they made it, but their actual day is processing the same kind of requests over and over, the exact pattern that AI handles for a fraction of the cost and never sleeps. They feel secure, but they are in fact sitting in one of the most automatable seats in the building. And the more clean and well-defined someone's job is, the better it looks on the slide in some headquarters somewhere deciding where to cut. Security and routine used to be the same thing. They have quietly become opposites. So what is safe? Well, no job is 100% safe, but the roles that stay low risk all share a few things in common. It's high stakes, where a mistake really do matter. Real world messiness, where every situation is a bit different. Clear human accountability, where someone has to be responsible, and deep human connection or physical presence, things that you can't do with a screen. Think about things like skilled trades, healthcare, teaching, for example, the work that happens with your hands or face-to-face with another human being. And notice something uncomfortable on that list. Almost none of those safer roles are the ones we are pushed towards for status. In Malaysia, we were told to chase the office job, the corporate desk, the clean white-collar path, and kind of look down a little bit on the hands-on, technical, messy human work. But a lot of those clean desk jobs are exactly the routine ones now in the firing line, while the work we were taught to look down on turns out to be more defensive. The status ladder and the safety ladder have come apart, and that alone should make you question those advice that you are still following. But the trap in thinking about it as safe jobs versus doomed jobs, that framing is going to fail you because even the safe jobs are changing, and even the risky jobs will still exist, just with fewer people doing them. Chasing a so-called safe job is playing defense in a game that rewards offense, because the real divide is not between jobs at all, it is between people. Here's the idea that I want to share. The gap in the opening is not between safe jobs and risky jobs. It is between the people who use AI and the people who do not. And that gap is quietly becoming a chasm. Right now, today, professionals who are to have AI skills are commanding salaries up to 56% higher than the people in the exact same role without those skills. By the end of this decade, the analysts say that the ability to direct and supervise AI as basic and expected as knowing how to use a spreadsheet. So just sit with what that means. In a few more years, not using AI at work will look the way not knowing how to use email looks today. The person who adapt do not just survive, they get more valuable because they do the work of several people. The people who do not adapt slowly price themselves off. Just picture two people in the same role, same company, same pay a year ago. This year, one of them started using AI to draft and to research and handle the repetitive parts and now gets through the work that used to take a small team. The other still does it all by hand, slower. When a company decides who to keep, who to promote, who to let go, it is not close. And the first one did not even bother learning a new degree or a new certificate. They just refuse to keep doing by hand what the machine could do for them. And that is the entire difference, and it widens every single month. AI does not replace people. People who use AI will replace the people who don't. So don't go around hunting for a magically safe job. That is the wrong move. You need to spend your time, instead of applying to jobs, spend that time learning up how to use AI in your day-to-day job. You need to become the person on the right side of the chasm. And the good news is that move is still the same no matter what field you're in. It is this to learn to make AI do the routine part of your work so you can focus on the part that is actually valuable. The boring 60% of the job, the repetitive stuff, hand it to the machine. Then spend your human effort. Under 40%, the machine cannot do the judgment, the relationships, the building, and the deciding. For some of you, that means adding AI skills to your career you already have. For others, especially if your career is mostly routine, it means a much bigger move. Learning to build and to direct AI as a new skill entirely before the routine version of your job thins out under you. Either way, the clock is ticking. The analysts put a window for the most exposed roles at 12 to 24 months, and that is not a lot of time, but it is definitely enough if you start now instead of when the redundancy notice arrives. So let me just make it a bit more concrete. Say you are in admin or a support role today, squarely in the blast radius. The move is not to panic and quit. It is to start this month using AI to handle the repetitive half of your work, and then using the hours you free up to learn something the machine cannot do. Building, analyzing, managing, and within a year is a lot of time if you use it wisely. You are no longer the same person doing the routine task. You are the person directing it with proof that you actually can do it. The same starting point, but a completely different trajectory. The person who gets crushed by this are almost never the ones in the riskiest jobs. They are the ones who saw it coming and waited anyway. And this is the whole reason I completely rebuilt my business around AI instead of pretending that it was a trap to avoid. Because I could see this chasm opening and I did not want to keep teaching people skills that will put them on the wrong side of it. The people who end up on the right side are almost never the most talented or the smartest. They're the ones who moved first, who decided while everyone else are still arguing about whether AI was hype, quietly become the person who could use it. The boring, early, and consistent fast movers almost always beats raw talent every single time. So here's where I'm gonna leave you. AI is not coming for the future of work in Malaysia. It is here, okay? In the data centers in Johor or in the back offices in Cyberjaya. The jobs that are built on routine will keep thinning out, and the chasm is opening between the people who can direct AI and those who can't. You don't get to control what happens and you don't get to stop that from happening, but you absolutely get to choose which side of it do you stand on. And right now, while most people are frozen and thinking what to do and panicking and maybe just spam applying for jobs, this right now is the cheapest and easiest way that you will ever have to cross over. AI don't replace people, okay? People who use AI will replace those who don't. So go and become one of them. It's not that hard. It's doable.